And thanks for joining us here on WLTX Plus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Afonte with your tropical update. We first begin with Hurricane Gabrielle. Now, throughout the day today, it has been a major hurricane, but as of early this evening, the National Hurricane Center now has it classified as a Category 4 hurricane. It's a very powerful hurricane, although it is compact. The winds right now, the center circulation is 140 miles per hour, gusting to 165. Its motion is to the north-northeast at 12 miles an hour. The center pressure is at 948 millibars. Again, it's a very strong hurricane. You can see a well-defined eye. It's currently about 180 miles to the east-southeast of the island of Bermuda. But that eye being very well-defined, as strong as it is at 140, I suspect that it is going to continue to strengthen, although as a Category 4 hurricane, as it continues to move. Notice that the clouds, specifically the thunderstorms associated with the hurricane, is not in the area of Bermuda. It's about 50 to 65 miles to the east of Bermuda. They're dealing with windy conditions, but they're not dealing with the heart of the hurricane. I do suspect, though, as well defined as the eye is, it may strengthen even more during the 11 o'clock evening update. But nevertheless, it'll still be a very powerful hurricane. By Tuesday afternoon, it is forecasted to have winds at 125 miles per hour. That makes it a Category 3 hurricane and continue through Wednesday morning. But by Wednesday afternoon, the winds start to taper down to about 105 miles per hour. That's Category 2. By Sunday morning, 90-mile-an-hour winds sustained. Still a Category 1 hurricane. It'll continue like that through Thursday night until it starts dissipating into a post-tropical area of low pressure. But still, even by Saturday, as it approaches the coast of the southeast, we're looking at winds about 50 miles an hour. But again, it is not expected to make landfall, obviously, in the Atlantic eastern seaboard, but not even to Bermuda. It is going to at least gain some strength as we go throughout the few hours. Tropical storm winds, though, are going to be really focused in a wide band, well over 250 miles, expanding outside from the center line of the hurricane force winds just as well. But again, it's a very compact hurricane, and those hurricane force winds, at least for the next several days, will be contained mostly within a span of about 75 to 100 miles from the center of circulation. The guidance models from its actual current path, well, the forecast models over the last about 36 hours have made it where at least it's been consistently moving towards the east. Some models have moved a little bit further north, but at least the current path and all the projections are going to continue to move it through the North Atlantic and not make any landfall. Now, as it stands right now, Gabrielle being the seventh storm, well, as a Category 4 hurricane, major hurricane, it's approaching, but not nearly as strong as the Category 5 hurricane we had of Erin. Now we're up to 7, and it's still late September, so we still have quite a bit of activity that we still have to deal with over the course of the next at least month and a half. Hurricane season doesn't end until the end of November. Now, outside of Hurricane Gabrielle, early this evening, and really just about 5 minutes ago, the National Hurricane Center updated the other tropical waves. We'll first start with the one that is just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, right by the areas of the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Antigua and Barbuda. Not very organized, but nevertheless, there is a 50% chance of development as it makes its way across the Greater Antilles and in the areas of the Central Caribbean islands, with a 50% chance of development anywhere between there to possibly around the areas of the Bahamas. Notice that the projections put it pretty close to South Carolina, but there is no indication, at least at this point, and from future models, that not only will we have a development, but this will be impacting South Carolina. So no certainty as of this point, but there is a higher probability of development, which is just to the east of it in the eastern central Atlantic. That one has a 30% chance of development, at least over the next 48 hours, but an 80% chance of development over the next week. and its trajectory right now is very similar to where Hurricane Gabrielle was and is. However, in a lot of situations where we have either tropical storms or all the way up to major hurricanes, if it falls within the same track or relatively close to the same track that Gabrielle is, Gabrielle has already spun up a lot of the waters in that area where the possible development is. So the waters are going to be a little bit cooler. Will that affect the tropical development? Perhaps, but we still don't have indication of if it's going to develop, when it's going to develop, and if it does, how strong it will be. Nevertheless, right now we've got 3 areas that can be watching very carefully over the next several days. In the meanwhile, again, we are going to be watching Hurricane Gabrielle, not expected to make landfall over Bermuda, let alone the eastern seaboard, but it is a very powerful hurricane. Center of circulation, the well-defined eye, wind sustained at 140. I do suspect that this will gain strength a little bit more as we go into late Monday night, and we'll have updates on it from the National Hurricane Center during the Monday evening, late evening, 11 o'clock forecast and update. But for now, we'll continue to track all the activity in the tropics and what impacts it may bring to South Carolina, and we'll continue to bring that to you on air, online, and on WLTX+. For the meanwhile, I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Infante. Stay with News 19. We'll keep you advised.